Okay, I'm recording. Okay. Hello, it's me again. Here, this is my daughter Sam. Say hi.
Hi.
And this is my granddaughter, Ren. Say hi.
Hi.
Okay, that's my granddaughter. That's Serenity. Look at the camera. The camera's right there. Say hi.
Hi.
And this is my daughter.
Hi.
Look at the camera, Sam, right there. Say hi.
Hi.
Okay, and just to let you know, I am 60 years old. Yes, old enough to have granddaughters and have a daughter. My daughter's from my third marriage, and my granddaughter's from my son. Okay, what I'm talking to you about now is taxation, taxes. How do I feel about taxations? One of the most ridiculous things I heard last year was a senator who was running, a new senator, and he seems to be a pretty good senator, but he said something really ridiculous. His comment was, let's not kid ourselves. Washington needs more revenue. The truth of the matter is, no. Washington does not need more revenue. Actuality, Washington needs less revenue. A lot of problems we're having in the world today is because our Congress and Senate just spends money like it's water, like they're multi-billionaires. And they act like they're multi-billionaires. They just don't realize the money they're getting, they're stealing, basically, from the American people. Because to use it wastefully like they're using it, it's definitely stealing. So how do I feel about taxes? 1, we are overtaxed. 2, Washington has too much money. Example, war in Iraq. If Washington had to worry about how they were going to pay for it, then Washington Congress, which is the only people who can authorize a war, not the president, Congress, would have had to think 2 or 3 times about it. Now, that is wrong. They have too much money to waste, too much money to spend. The priorities they should have is 1, defense of the nation. 2, education of our youth. 3, our infrastructure. Other than that, there shouldn't be money to pay the companies to do things, money to pay subsidized farmers, money for this, money for that, money for this. I can understand them using money to subsidize the food so that our food would be cheaper in this country than anybody else, but they don't. They pay the money to subsidize food in foreign countries so that their food is cheaper. So they can afford to buy the food to feed their family by taking the taxes from us so that we cannot afford to feed our family. They don't look at us as people that need. They look at us as people that have too much. So they figure, spread the wealth. You work hard. Some of you out there work 60, 70, 80 hours a week. And what do you get for it? The government takes a good hunk of it. To be honest with you, I think the most ridiculous thing I've seen is a family where the husband and wife is working. They're making a little bit over minimum wage, and when they bring their paycheck home, they bring home, let's just use for an example, $75, which was on a 30-day show. 1 day's work, $75, and he brought home $43. The rest went out in taxes and other things. No, that guy who's working near minimum wage and wife who's working near minimum wage, and sometimes he has 2 jobs as they have a family to raise. Washington shouldn't be touching it. In my opinion, minimum wage straight across the board should never be taxable. Period. No one should have to pay any taxes on minimum wage. In other words, if you make minimum wage, no taxes, no Social Security, no nothing. If you make $20 an hour, they subtract the minimum wage from your hourly salary, and that's what you pay taxes. So let's say minimum wage is $5.50, you would pay taxes on $14.50. Not the way it is today. Minimum wage straight across the board should be totally untouchable. That's how I feel about taxes. Whether or not they're fair will be another time. But I feel that the Congress and Senate should start realizing the American people are in need, and the American people have to come first. I have no problem with us feeding the world, making sure every American child has a decent meal. I have no problem with us giving medicine like AIDS to Africa and all that. Make sure that every American who has AIDS has his medicine. I have no problems with taking care of the world. But first and foremost, the American citizen must be considered and taken care of, because that's the one who's paying for it. Thank you. I'm running out of time, so I'm going to stop now, and I'll talk more about taxes later. But this is where I'm coming from.